So this next part is really to highlight how you get ready for college, skill building, all about building community, all the bennies, okay?
Is AP faster paced, and how has that changed the way you manage your time or study for your other classes from first semester to second? Madeline?
Okay, so first I would like to say that it's not going to be easy. The first AP class that I took, I received a D first semester because I wasn't adjusted yet. And over time, you will find a schedule when you work within yourself to manage your time. And I did do better second semester. So it's all about having that communication within yourself.
Awesome. Anaí?
I play a sport and I get home really late, and it's all about prioritizing your classes. You have to decide what class is more important in that specific time. Say if I have a test the next day, but I still have homework for another AP, you have to figure out what is more important, and you just have to prioritize the classes.
And finally, Javi?
It's really all about time management. You want to make sure that you create a schedule that will work best for you, that will allow you to have a balance between your school life and your personal life, so you don't burn yourself out, so you keep the motivation of exceeding in these classes.
Awesome. Round of applause for them. Great. Awesome. Amazing. All right, so now what we all been waiting for, the classroom vibe. What is it like to actually be in an AP class, right? AP classes often have different energy. Panelists, how would you guys describe the relationship between the students and the teacher in the AP environment compared to a standard class? I would like to hear from Stephanie, and we could leave it to open discussion.
Remember that one time we took that one AP class, AP World History, sophomore year?
How could I forget? So that is one of the most difficult courses, and honestly, when you take it with the people that you build this connection with, you are trauma bonded for life. And then if you take the AP route, you're going to be in the same classes with the same group of people most of the time, and you essentially grow up together and build that community within each other, and it's so beautiful to see.
Amy, trauma bonds. Remember how we would always be studying outside of classrooms on Quizlet?
Oh my gosh, yes. Those were always so fun and hopeful and stressful, especially the one before the AP exam in the morning when we all kind of did a little mini study sesh before and also prayed for our scores. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember how many times I FaceTimed Betsy in the middle of the night begging for help in AP Calc. But like, yeah, she didn't know what to do either. So it's just that struggle of struggling together. You build a sense of you're not alone, and that's all you need sometimes. Like, you just need to know that you're not alone in it, and having somebody with you helps get through it. Honestly.
Honestly, it's not just about like grade levels. I personally thought I would never get close to Stephanie. She honestly intimidated me at first. I was scared of her. But after taking an AP class with her, like I built that relationship with her, and she took AP Bio last year, and I'm taking it this year, and she still finds a way to help me with that class.
And everyone who takes an AP class, everyone is committed. We've chose to be there, and so everyone there is because they want to be there, and so that just drives you because it just motivates you even more, and everyone else is around you is motivated, and it gives this competitive environment as well.
Yeah, and that competition between friends, it kind of drives you to be the best academic version of yourself.
All right, amazing, great, perfect, perfect. All right, let's all give him a hand and invite back Dr. Irvin. Dr. Martin.
And now we have a special feature. So there's some classes you may not have heard of or you may not be as familiar with. So this specific special feature segment is going to have two of our Bruins all the way from our honors anatomy and physiology class with Miss Torres. So I want you to give a warm welcome, and we're going to bring up our premier representative students, Jacob and Eduardo. Thank you for joining us. Come on up. So, for our honors anatomy and physiology class that students can enroll in, can you tell us what are some reasons? Why should they take the class?
Thank you, Dr. Martin. Some things that I really like about the anatomy class is it's great for students who like a hand-on experience. It allows you to interact with your peers as well as interact with the resources around you. Those who love to learn about the body and the organisms around them, you not only get to learn about different kinds of animals, but you get to learn about your own body yourself. For those who play sports, it's great to learn about recovery and how to manage your body. Eduardo, would you like to talk more about the program?
So honestly, I would say it's the best class to take if you're going into the medical field. It teaches you about all the systems of the body. It gets you involved, and honestly, it's an amazing class. Ms. Torres is an amazing teacher, and then if you do pass the class with an A or a B, you do get college credit to Chaffey Community College, so you'll already get a head start going into college, and you'll already have previous knowledge to get you prepared in the future.
Amazing.
All right, so now we're going to get into the real talk, all the challenges and how you grow past them. So we're going to give you like a real dirty, underneath, like behind the scenes view. And we want to make sure that you understand the difficulty. But there are major areas for growth beyond the challenges. So that's what this part is all about.
So the hardest part of AP, this one is for you, Melissa. If you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself about your first month or quarter in an AP class?
Thank you, Jada. So my first AP class was AP Chemistry, guys, and I went to the class with a lot of disadvantages, and that came with a lot of challenges. And so a lot of times I would be feeling like I would be falling behind, I couldn't keep up, barely turning in work, and I just honestly didn't understand the concept of what I was learning. And so I remember before that semester ended, I knew I wanted to drop that class, and so I did. But little did I know that I was actually going to get an A in that class. And let me tell you, it was one of the most rewarding feelings ever. And taking any type of AP class is really rewarding. And so that's the harsh reality. And what I would want to tell myself and to you guys right now is that AP classes are a lot of commitment. And my advice is that do your best to be engaged, do your best to understand the material, because it will go such a long way with the AP exam. Yes, it is rigorous, but don't give up because I regret dropping. I never let that decision stop me or even second guess taking any AP classes. Because yes, I struggled and I dropped, but I'm here on the stage talking to you guys as an AP scholar.
Let's give her a round of applause.
All right, now the support system, right? The people that you lean on, your friends, your family, your teachers, your amazing teachers, right? When you hit a wall or you didn't understand a complex concept, what was your go-to strategy for getting on track? Let's hear from NIE to start off.
Honestly, as like funny as it sounds, I honestly use ChatGPT to help me in an ethical manner. I'll ask it to like ask me questions, or I'll use it to help me break down a concept even more. Say if I have an AP stats question that I don't get, I'll tell it to break it down or like explain it to me so I could better understand what I'm looking for or what I need to solve for.
Awesome. Can we hear from Betsy?
I feel like one thing that I always do is I talk to my friends. I have this one friend that I've had most of my AP classes with. So before tests or exams, I would just have conversations with her about the topics. And talking about it when having a normal conversation, for whatever reason, made it easier to understand in my brain. So definitely use your peers around you.
Awesome. Okay, using your resources, most definitely. And Madeline, sorry. Madeline, would you like to go?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Betsy said, using your peers, but even using utilities like YouTube is such a great resource, and Quizlet, they help a bunch. And it's funny, but putting context, your work stuff into context of like gossip or just everyday stuff, it helps you memorize. It's a great tool to utilize to your advantage.
Amazing memorization. Let's give them a hand.
And finally, the balance portion of AP, which is pretty hard if you have extracurriculars or like a bunch of AP classes. So how do you balance the AP grind with your extracurriculars, sports, or social life? And what's one boundary that you had to set for yourself? Madeline?
Well, I'm president of medical club, and honestly, it's really difficult to be the president of a club while being in 8 others and being in cheer. So it's definitely important that you build a relationship with yourself to create those boundaries of waking up early or staying up late. Everybody has their own preference, but just building that relationship to understand what time to get your work done really helps.
That's amazing, like 8 clubs, that's crazy. Melissa?
So how I was able to do it was through discipline, because I know exactly how it feels to feel like you're living at school. And so discipline can mean so many things, as in learning how to use time blocks, like if you have extra time in between classes or before practices, being consistent, and even on your bad days where you're exhausted, being consistent, even if it's just a little every day, is so much. And the boundary that I had to set was that you just can't do everything perfectly. And that's something hard for me to grasp because I am personally a perfectionist. So my AP classes didn't take or affect my extracurriculars or vice versa. In fact, they didn't take away my time. They taught me how to use it, build better habits, and just know that discipline isn't punishment, but in fact, it just gives you more freedom to do what you love even more.
Give them a round of applause, guys. And let's welcome back Dr. Martin.
All right, so we have one final question for you panelists. What would you say to the student that is nervous? Maybe they're thinking, they're not sure. Do I press that button? Do I enroll? What do you all say to them?
Well, you know what Nike says.
Just
do
it.
All right. So we're going to transition to the remainder of our assembly. You've heard from all the panelists. You've gotten a chance to hear from each of them from their different perspectives as athletes involved on our campus and carrying their academic life. So I'd like to make sure that we have a few other questions you all submitted previously, and we can have our panelists answer them on the spot. Okay, so this one comes from a student interested in AP Art, Design, Calculus, Chemistry, and Statistics. Okay?
At the same time?
All at the same time, yes. Okay, so the question is, can you get a scholarship, or have any of you gotten scholarships from your AP experience? Does anyone want to jump in?
So I'm actually a QuestBridge finalist. So QuestBridge gives you full ride scholarships to pretty much any private university. Like they even include the 7 Ivy Leagues, Stanford, Brown, and all that. So I include all the AP classes I took. I mentioned AP Art, AP African American Studies, AP World History, and all that. And although I didn't get the scholarship, I'm still able to get an advantage. Like I can reapply to those colleges for free. They will consider me for free, and they will meet almost 100% of my financial need. I had peers who haven't got the scholarship, but all they have to pay out of $100,000 to go to Stanford, all they have to pay is $1,000 a year. That's how good QuestBridge is, and how good those AP classes will get you to that advantage.
Awesome. Okay, let's give that a hand. Okay. Here's a question. It comes from Alyssa. She's interested in English language literature and composition. She's also interested in AP foreign language. Okay. So she says, is it difficult taking multiple AP classes at once? Who would like to jump in on that one? Okay, go ahead.
Honestly, of course it's going to be difficult. Any AP course is very difficult, and taking them all at the same time is going to be challenging. But if you have a passion for language, obviously I could see by your choice of options, I think it's great. You're going to have that passion for it, and honestly, AP Literature is my favorite class. Even though it has a heavy workload, I love it, and I'm not going to love the homework, but if you love the topic, you're going to, like I said, you're going to find that balance within yourself to be able to finish all of your assignments and prioritize which ones have more of a workload. So there's going to be certain AP teachers that will work with you. Mr. Giles, who teaches AP Lit, he does take late work. You do have to go to tutoring, though, because it requires extra work. So, like I said, if you're going to put in that extra work, you'll be able to accomplish whatever you put your mind to.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. This one is, I guess, just on a personal note. Michelle would like to know, what are your favorite colors?
I like purple and green.
Purple and green. All right, next.
I like purple and blue.
I like turquoise.
I like red.
I mean, I'm wearing it right now. I love blue.
I like the color pink.
Honestly, I love all colors. I don't have a favorite.
I like purple and green.
Purple is the common denominator.
I like the really dark green, like the pine green, but yeah.
Okay. And
Thank you for the question.
very good question. Thank you. All right. Get to know them on a more personal level. Okay. So this is more of a quantity. It comes from Gabriel. His question is, what's the most APs you've taken in 1 year? So if you want to say the number, and if you know them all, go ahead and list them all.
I think the most I personally taken this year is AP English, AP Art, AP African American Studies, AP Macroeconomics. I took 5 this year, but I think Amy has taken more overall.
This year and last year, I'm a senior this year. I've taken 5 classes each year, and I took 2 sophomore year. So sophomore year, I took AP Spanish Language and AP World History. Junior year, I took AP English Language, AP US History, AP Computer Science, AP Physics, and AP Spanish Literature. And then this year, I'm taking AP Psychology, AP Calculus BC, AP Macroeconomics, AP Government, AP English Literature, and AP Statistics.
My. That's 12. Okay. So she's done quite a bit. Let's give that a big round of applause. And she's still smiling and has no gray hairs. Okay.
Not yet.
All right. Next question is from Aldo. And he's interested in, he didn't list what he was interested in. What do AP students usually do for fun on campus? do you get to have a life?
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that because, people think that just because you're an AP, you don't go to parties or you don't have friends. But honestly, it's quite the opposite. Like, every time I go to a party, it's usually the AP students there. And it's because you have the most stress, so you need to relieve it. So it's it's funny, but it's honestly important to be able to build time to go out with your friends because school becomes obviously such an environment where you're like so close knit. It's like a little family where you're all struggling together. But even families go on vacations all the time, so you need to build that time to still have a relationship with your friends and yourself. So like, yeah, I mean, personally, like I go to the movies, roller skating, I go to parties, like. The mall, anywhere, like just like a normal teenager. Just because you're in an AP class doesn't mean you need to let it overtake your whole life. That's not true. Like, just build that time for yourself. That's the thing I would prioritize too.
Yeah, I like what you said. Having activities with your friends. Like me personally, with my friends, I'm a senior. We made senior boxes. So like, let that be a memorable event. Like, go into all the rallies, collecting like, I don't know, confetti if you're like that, or the wristbands, and just put it in the box so you can look back at it like years ahead and be like, wow, I really did this in high school.
Yeah, like people stereotype that just because you're an AP, you're a nerd, but honestly,
you're just like everybody else.
That stereotype has not been true for many years.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that question. I'd say AP students are the coolest of the nerds. Yes, very smart, but keep your social life, definitely. Okay, this last one comes from Antonia, and this question, this is a great one. What classes, okay, and you don't have to say the teacher, but definitely share the class, would you recommend? So could each of you maybe give a shout out of which one you recommend?
I recommend AP Literature with Mr. Giles.
Don't name drop.
Oh, my bad.
I personally like AP African American History because it's just such a clear class. There's not like, oh, you have to learn about this state and then you have to learn about this country. No, it's just one basic section, and the teacher's really nice. So I'd really recommend taking that class. Anyone, I think junior to senior can take it.
I would recommend AP Psychology. And I might be biased because I am going to major in psychology, but I feel like it's just such a nice social-based class to have. Like last year I had a class with seniors, juniors, and sophomores with Anai, and so it's definitely like an option that you can take whenever.
I would probably recommend AP Spanish Language and Culture. I thought it was a pretty enjoyable class, and it was okay.
Yeah, to all the math lovers out there, I know math is my favorite subject. I definitely recommend calculus, whether it be AB or BC. It really pushes you to your limit and helps you explore math on a different level.
I recommend AP Spanish Language, just like Javi said. I just think the environment is really nice, and like everyone there already has the same culture, and we make agua frescas at the end of the year, so I like that.
We won, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
I personally recommend AP Biology. I feel like that class is very engaging. There's a lot of lectures rather than just like random paperwork that you guys get. So I definitely recommend that.
Okay. That is going to be our last question from our Q&A portion. So I have a quick announcement. We have now formed the Bruin Scholar Ambassadors team, and I'm very excited because all of the panelists that you see today and the students that you've heard from today have now given student voice to our AP department and our teachers, and we'll be collaborating. So they have some events that they will be planning in the spring semester. So I just wanted to formally announce and thank them for their time and service. We now have a Bruin Scholar Ambassadors team. All right. So they'll be our goal-getters and planning, bringing those bright ideas. Before we announce which row will be getting our prizes, I want to make sure that we get a picture with our principal, Mrs. Roman, and I want to thank you all for attending today, and thank you all for making sure that today would be engaging, sending your questions, all of the different moving parts. It's been a pleasure to coordinate. I'm the person that you see if you're having any struggles in your AP environments. I'm also the individual that you would see if you have any questions. Of course, you can also see your counselor. So we're glad we can answer any questions and give you an inside view into the world of AP.
I also, since we have a little bit of time, I did want to give the audience an opportunity. Maybe you didn't fill out the questions. Now that you kind of heard from some of the panelists, if you had a unique question that you didn't hear the answer to, we have a little bit of time, so if you want to raise your hand, we'll give you an opportunity to ask a question. Anybody have any questions? You want to stand up? Say it real loud. Okay. I'm going to come over to you.
I had a friend that was taking regular psychology the same year, and it was definitely similar concepts. There was some stuff that I learned that she wasn't able to because of time-wise, but if you want to take starter psychology and then go into AP psychology, you will at least go in knowing a lot of the concepts, so it might be easier for you in some topics.
The question is about the difference between regular psychology versus AP psychology, in case you couldn't hear.
Yeah, I would say AP psychology was more in-depth when it came to certain topics, because since we're studying for the exam, which is in May, we had to learn more and we had to learn at a faster pace. So I thought the pace was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And then some of my friends in regular psychology would probably say that they wish they could have taken AP psychology, just because they were like, certain topics you can learn faster without having to dwell on them as much. But I really enjoyed the class. It was really nice.
I also took COP psychology, and now I'm taking AP psychology, and it's definitely more faster paced. But it also goes way deeper. So COP psychology went into forensic psychology, which is completely different. And then AP psychology went into like child development, like when you get old, like things like that. So I definitely recommend AP psychology.
Anybody else? Any other panel members who took that? Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Thank you. I'm going to come over to you so that everybody can hear the question.
I've heard the AP test can be stressful. Is there any special measures you take to prepare yourself for that, or just regular plain old studying?
For AP exams?
Yes, that's for AP exams and tests. How do you prepare for those?
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I did not study for my AP Word exam sophomore year. I decided to play a game, but you know what? Your friends. I feel like when we were waiting outside for our exam to start, first of all, we prayed. And then we kind of like went through Kahoot, Quizlet, did reviews. Okay, what was the Mughal Empire? What was this? And we just kind of quizzed ourselves really quick. Even for AP Spanish, we went over like the structure of how to write like a correo electrónico. We'd be like, oh, okay, it's this first and this right. Like, yeah, we just kind of check ourselves.
Honestly, personally, I would say the only reason why I passed AP World History was Helmer. Heimler. Yeah, sorry. He's great. Like, use YouTube. Genuinely, one of the best resources for studying. And honestly, don't overdo it. Like the night before, you need to sleep. You need to wake up, you need to eat breakfast, and you need to just, you're not going to be able to learn a whole year curriculum in one night. It's impossible. Even a week. So genuinely, you need to accept, okay, it is what it is. Be confident. Go in knowing what you know. And I would really recommend, for me, I studied a lot the breaks leading up. So Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, all of spring break grind, because it's the closest one to it. So utilize your time, definitely. So
I like to add also, teachers, the month of May and April, they actually help you study. The teachers, you usually finish your lesson around February-ish, so coming close for us. Then next 2 months, chop, 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 he's helping you study, going back to Unit 1, and like going over everything, helping us out. We make study groups, and we're actually kind of thinking of doing something like that as well. So if you ever see us on campus, we'd be glad to help you.
I like to add on. Be creative. Do what you think you would understand the material the best. Definitely, Khan Academy helped me a lot. And honestly, be creative, because one of the funniest ways I've actually like studied for a test was not just podcasts, but like when I would fall asleep, I'd make my friend read me, or like ChatGPT like bedtime stories of the subject. So like as I fall asleep, they're reading me the story of the subject so I can better understand.
Also, definitely utilize tutoring. A lot of teachers offer tutoring in the morning and in the night. I mean, after school. So, no, sorry. But yeah, go to tutoring. And College Board provides previous years of their tests. So if you're trying to practice for AP Bio 2026, look up the 2025 and practice those questions. They're going to be similar. It's the same test, just slightly different. So it's going to help you a lot.
I'll add on to that the College Board, when you become an AP student, you'll register to take the test through College Board. And many of your teachers also use lessons through College Board, so they'll release assignments and activities that you can do to help prepare yourself for the test and become more knowledgeable about the content. Any other questions?
One other thing for studying, leading up to the test, we have teachers who will be on site during Saturday schools. So there's also some preparations you can do on the weekends.
Do you wish you took any other AP classes but you couldn't?
So when I took AP World History sophomore year, it's scary because it's your first AP class you ever take if you choose to take it. And I made a decision because of the teacher I had. I did not want to do AP US History because I was like, oh, it's going to be the same stress, because I got my first B ever, and I was like a very perfectionist person. And then I see my friends like studying for AP US History. It's low-key so much easier, and I'm like, I regret not taking that, especially as someone who wants to pursue like a sort of history-like career. That was my biggest regret, just not taking AP US History.
I would like to say I've been taking honors English since 8th grade, and junior year I was discouraged by my peers to take AP Lang. I was just scared of the environment, and I regret it because not taking a class because you're scared of the environment prevents you from building a skill of learning how to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Like when you go to the workforce, you're going to work for a job where you're not always going to be comfortable with your boss or the people around you. So learning how to manage that prepares you for the future, and it challenges yourself. So I wish I would have done that, especially now in AP Literature. You know, it shows you that you can do things if you put yourself out there. So if you're thinking about taking an AP but you just regret not, why would you regret? You should just do it. If you don't like it, that's okay. You have 20 days to drop the class. You might as well give yourself that chance to challenge yourself, put yourself out there, and try new things. You like the environment? Okay. If you don't, that's okay. You know, and even if you don't and you want to stay, you want to challenge yourself, that's great for you. But it's not for everybody, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm a perfect student. I don't have like a 4.0, but I challenge myself. So if you want to challenge yourself, then I would say just take it.
Thank you. Did any of the other panel members have any regrets that they didn't take? Any classes?
I'd
No?
say AP Biology because I heard it was a very demanding class, and I knew that with my other AP classes, I wasn't going to be able to keep up. But I ended up choosing a major that requires biology. And while I did take honors biology freshman year, I wish I would have taken the AP class.
That's
I
a
would-
great
I would
point.
also love to speak on that.
Go ahead.
Um, so by no surprise, I've actually never taken an AP class throughout my high school career. And honestly, the main reason why I never tried it because I was honestly really, really scared. I would say around like sophomore year, I started getting more involved inside the school that had to do with other things other than academics. Because I'm a smart guy, but I really love like being involved, like hands-on. So that's why I got really involved with other stuff around the school. But if I could redo my high school career, I would seriously consider taking an AP. Also heard of AP Stats. I don't know, like you have to be like a 12th grader or so.
Mm-mm.
You can take AP Stats. It's one of the easiest AP classes ever. I suck at math and I would have passed. Like I'm telling you, take AP Stats. And yeah, just try it out. As again, like Madeline said, you have 20 days to drop. So I would definitely try an AP class if you can. It doesn't matter what you're in, what clubs, give it a try. Trust me, I would do so.
I do want to highlight what one of our panelist members stated about thinking about the major that she wants to major in college. So if you're someone who already knows, like, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a veterinary a doctor, or a veterinarian pediatrician, a teacher, an educator, certain things, start looking into what are the requirements for that degree, because then you can kind of take some AP classes that align to that degree as well. But taking the class and taking the test and passing the test is only going to give you the benefit of getting college credit early on. Any last questions? We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Anything that we didn't cover? Oh, go ahead. You were pretty loud last time, so I think I could reiterate.
Yeah,
The question is AP Stats and whether or not it was more wordy or there was more information content.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a bit more wordy. For me, AP Statistics, the math isn't hard, and you get majority of the formulas. You do everything on your calculator. So all you have to do is just memorize formulas, but I think one of the hardest part for me was definitely really trying to understand what the question is answering, questioning you, because on the AP exam, they try to get you to get it wrong. And so that's what makes it really challenging. So it is definitely more wordy, and you do have to try your best to understand it, but the math isn't that hard at all. Very basic algebra.
I would just like to go back a second and talk about how important it is to use AP classes to discover what you want to do in the future. Because I personally experimented and I took AP Psych, AP Calculus, I've taken vet, I've taken AP Literature, I've taken different areas of subjects so I can see, okay, do I like this profession? Which one do you favor? And it shows you a little glimpse of what your workforce would be like, what you want to apply yourself to. So it also helps you build your future and discover what you want to do with your life.
I didn't see any other hands. Did anybody else? That was going to be our last question unless there's one pressing question.
Principal Roman.
All right.
Could we bring back up our honors physiology and anatomy students? I wanted them to highlight career fields that relate to that class.
Okay,
Just to
sounds
highlight
good.
that.
Come on back
Come on
out,
up.
our
Jacob
anatomy
and Eduardo.
physiology students.
Do what? Like what I could do with it?
Yes.
Oh, honestly, for anatomy, you can do any career. I'm personally gonna go into neuroscience, but honestly, it's the best class you could take because you cover every single aspect of the medical field. So honestly, if you want to go into the medical field and you don't really know what you want to do, maybe it'll help you find it. But for me, I already knew what I was gonna do. But honestly, just pursue the class. It's really not that filled up. It's like halfway filled, and it seems scary at first, but the tests aren't that difficult. The homework, it's just memorization basically. So you'll be fine if you take the class. And honestly, I would take the class. Extra points, extra GPA at that point. But yeah. You have anything, or where'd you go?
Yeah, all you can say is, yeah, it's a really fun class. I think you guys should all take it. Like I said before, it's a really hands-on class for those who like to interact with their peers and the resources they have around them. So I would really encourage you guys to go and talk to your counselors or even talk to Ms. Torres herself, because she's a really nice lady, and I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you so much. One last thing is the panelists mentioned that you have the first 20 days to drop a course. I want to be very clear that the goal is for you to stay in the course because we want you to be challenged. So if you decide that you want to drop the course, there is a procedure. Your parents do have to be notified and agree to that as well, because we're really trying to ensure that you challenge yourself and that we have a full class as well, because we'd be putting you into some other class that maybe is packed also. So please choose wisely. Next week you will be, if either next week or the following week, you'll be meeting one-on-one with your counselors. They'll be registering you. Some of you already may be selected online, your enrollment, and they're just going to be verifying what classes that you want to take. And it's a good opportunity for you to think between now and next week or the following week if you are a 10th grade student, about what classes you want to take. Maybe you've heard something from one of the panelists. You can go and talk to them at lunch or during the day when you see them if you have more questions about a specific subject that you heard them speak on. Also, talk to your counselors. You could talk to the teachers that currently teach those classes and see, like, hey, what's the coursework like? Can I have a copy of your syllabus? And then you can kind of think about the classes that you want to enroll in. But it's a good opportunity you have from now to next week or the following week to make some decisions about what you want to do for the next few school years. All right, so I know Dr. Martin has some information on prizes, and we want to make sure we give you enough time to do that. And then I'm sure she's going to close out today's AP Ambassador Assembly. But let's give all of our panelists and our MCs a round of applause. All right. Okay, so as we wrap up, I was being very attentive, and panelists, I hope that you all were as well. So we're going to give out some prizes to the rows. I definitely want to give one to the row where I don't know your name, young leader in the red. Yes, so I'm going to choose your row because of you. So everyone in that row, that's the row that I'm choosing for prizes. So can I have the two of you grab that bag and go to the edge of the row, and as they're leaving, they're going to get the prize. Yes. Okay, and then we need to choose two more. Okay. Who asked the question toward the back? Where was it? Was yes. Raise your hand. There was a young man. He asked two. Okay. So it was two. Okay, so we're going to choose their rows as well. So go ahead and grab the bags, and we'll hand them theirs as they leave. Okay. So I want to thank you all for coming. I'm so glad you got to meet some familiar faces from our AP program. If you have any other questions, we'll be here. We can answer them one-on-one, and we're going to make sure you guys get the prizes. So you'll just pass it down, okay? Just pass it down, and you guys can take one item out of the bag. All right?
We pass the bag down?
I don't know. It's like a bunch of like snacks and candy.
And please don't open it inside the theater, okay?
Okay.
Take
so
it with you.
Pass the bag. It's counted. So I'm trusting you guys. Take one each.
Pass it down. Take one.
Take one.
Like, look.
You guys. Great job.
I thought it was good. We had some good moments. We had some dull moments, but that's absolutely good. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of like, so there's a lot of like insane. So not everybody had that. So I think we did great. Like majority of it.
Principal Roman, could you join us on stage for a photo? All right, students, we're so glad that you came. We're going to start from the back row. You can stand and exit and start to leave to your next class. We're going to start from the back rows first. Thank you so much. Please take anything that's around you so we can leave responsibly and leave our auditorium with respect and clean. Thank you. Thank you, Bruins.